And welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. Well, I'm holding up a issue of Greater Utica Magazine, and that is the October issue.
Correct.
You featured Horick Gibbonson, and Horick Gibbonson, that building was really not only Horick Gibbonson, but you had the Utica Saturday Globe in there.
Correct.
And
yeah.
now today it's that's all vacant down there,
Sure.
but boy, that was really something in that area.
Yeah, and that's actually why we named the story "The Ghosts of Whitesboro Street." It's sort of, I guess, like a spooky theme, I guess, to go along with October, but also at the same time, it's just these two incredible companies that were internationally known that are no longer around, and there's not even a building there to kind of give people that notion that they even had existed in those spots, and so that was what we tried to bring to light.
You know, one of the things that I've talked with about with Joe Bettini is, and he's somebody who's trying to get this done, is getting markers around the area, because there's so many places, and the Horick Gibbonson Utica Saturday Globe location would be one of them. But there's so many locations now. Vice President Sherman's house,
Right.
where it was located on the east side of Genesee Street, right above Clinton Place.
Sure.
That'd be another one, I would say. To say, you know, here once stood the house of James Schoolcraft Sherman.
Absolutely, and you talk about the first headquarters for the American Express Company. There's so many things like we touched on in the last segment that that you could never possibly run out of things to talk about.
Somebody 2 or 3 weeks ago was sitting in that very seat, Gerald Earnhardt. He is a scholar when it comes to John Butterfield and the Overland Express, which ultimately became American Express. And they're going to be doing a you'd probably be interested in this, maybe doing something with it. They're talking about doing a 10-part PBS series on that. So that'd be great for our area if they did in fact do that. The types of stories that you look for, is there something that you look in your head and say, well, that doesn't quite fit what we want to do here, or this really does fit what we're trying to do here?
I would say that pretty much anything that promotes positivity is always in the running. Anything that would be out of the running would be anything that would be negative, I guess. Anything that brings negative light to really any topic is not really something we're interested in covering, because obviously there's endless content and endless news channels and everything where you can get your fill on that sort of a thing. So we try to kind of be a break from that, and we hope that people look forward to that aspect of it.
You know, it's interesting you say that. I remember once I got criticized by somebody. They said, well, all you do is write about positive things. Well, that's not, it wasn't exactly true. I didn't always write about positive things, but for the most part I did. And my response was, there's plenty of people that'll write about the negative.
Oh, certainly.
You know, so
certainly.
It doesn't hurt to have somebody that writes about positive kinds of stuff. The one of the resources that you go to, a big resource for you, is the Oneida County History Center.
Correct. Yes, absolutely. We frequent the Oneida County History Center, the Rome Historical Society, and then the various different historical societies around the area. They sort of fill in the blanks for us with certain stories that when we need them. But yeah, Rebecca at the History Center has just been incredible, and her recent promotion is obviously well deserved. So we're really happy for her. We've established great relationships with the historical societies over the years, and you know we really appreciate what they do.
You mentioned this all got started with your father and his Facebook page. Does Greater Utica Magazine have a Facebook presence?
Yes, we do. It's just Greater Utica. You can find us on there, and we mostly keep people up to date with when the magazine's going to be released, some pickup locations, things like that. We plan on getting more active moving forward on it, and as well as on Instagram, keeping people up to date with some of the different things going on in the community, highlighting some of the people who support the magazine, and getting people out to these local businesses, obviously, now as much as any other time. it's important that we support them.
Has the COVID virus impacted your business?
Yeah, oh, certainly it has. I mean, anything that impacts small business is going to impact us because it ends up trickling down to us, you know. So it has affected us. It's broken our heart to see some of the people that actually haven't been able to survive it financially. We've been fortunate enough that we've been able to keep it going. So it has affected us, but we do our best every month to put out the best product possible.
Now, what date does it come out on?
Generally, it's the last couple days of the previous month, meaning this November issue that's out was released in the 29th of October.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be out in mailboxes and in drop-off locations a couple days before the end of the month usually.
Mm-hmm. And the people that want to ensure that they get a subscription and not on that random thing that you do, they can actually buy a subscription, yes?
Sure, yeah, and it's only $19.99 for the entire year. So if you go on our website, you can sign up for that. If you call our office phone, you can always do that, and we'll take your information.
Yeah.
Over
Where
the
do you
phone.
where do you work out of?
It's actually just a home office. It's
Uh-huh.
it's at my parents' house.
Yeah.
So yeah, we try to keep it
Yeah.
the overhead as low as possible. You know.
Well, you got to be a businessman to survive, or a
Yeah.
businesswoman, and keeping your expenses down is a big part of it.
Certainly.
The thought of going into the future, any thoughts in your head about things that you'd like to see for this magazine?
Well, I mean, obviously the content is always the most important thing. We just brought on a couple new writers. One of them, Matt Milnick, is going to be doing some more nostalgic type pieces. You know, he did one on the jazz scene in Utica in November's issue. He did one on movie theaters in the October issue. So we plan on mixing things up a little bit in that regard, but we're hoping to have a video component for the magazine where we kind of do some history stories. We kind of make the stories in the magazine come to life. We're hoping to launch that in the upcoming year. But, you know, obviously it all depends on how things unfold over the next several months.
Yeah.
But when we're hoping to do.
When you talk about the video component, are you talking about like a YouTube kind of
Yeah,
thing?
more than likely it would be a YouTube thing that we would share on the Facebook page and on the website, and have sort of just like I said, bringing the stories to life. Because one of the things we try to do with the stories is kind of add sort of an emotional element to them. Because one of when you and I spoke on the phone, we talked about the stories being digestible, and I think one of the ways to do that is to make the people in the stories human, because we forget that these figures in history were actually people at one time, and so we want to build that kind of a feeling in you where you're inspired maybe by some of the things that these folks have done, and I think a video component will absolutely be able to do that.
Okay. Brad Velarde is our guest. We're talking about his magazine, Greater Utica Magazine. It's out every month, and we'll come back. We'll talk some more about the stories that they have in the magazine. Short break, right back.